Harry, this is Lord Potato, and this is what if Asta was the vessel of G.O.D, God himself. So, I did upload this like in the morning and all that. I'm going to upload this also in the morning, probably tomorrow, or if, yeah, maybe, I don't know. But let me mention something before I continue on. I did kind of redesign the other kind of picture of what Asta, this one right here. I just redesigned and added some things that I was talking about last time, but you probably didn't actually heard me, or you probably did, or you probably haven't even watched the first part because it was kind of like 9 to 10 hours, probably 11 hours ago. I'll kind of upload it, but yeah. Truly, this is how Asta's eye looks like. Well, both of his eyes. After being the vessel or getting the power of God and becoming the vessel of God, that is how Asta's eyes are. Also, if you're wondering what the fuck that cube is well, the calling of God. But I'll mention that later. This is how Asta looks like fully. He looks like, well, having this kind of reddish crown around him. Of course, still having the reddish glow, blackish, reddish eyes, but yeah. The black wing will still kind of be there, and red wings, okay. So yeah, when I kind of decide to design of how Asta would kind of look like, I kind of design it at the similar thought of like Majin Park, when Majin Park became slash the vessel of his own god, or well, the god of his world, but became, well, he didn't become the vessel, he overtook him, but yeah. But not the point. I wanted to kind of have like a design like that, but yeah. Of course, not having the white crown or having the halo behind him or whatever. You get the point. But yeah, I just wanted to design also like that. But other than that, I should not ramble on anymore further and go into this what if, because a lot of people like this what if. But yeah, let me begin into Asta being the vessel of God. So, we begin. Asta open his eyes now. It's where, well, it's been over 2 months. 2 months has now passed. Asta has been on the moon for two months. And finally, after the day has passed, well, the last day of that, well, 2 months are gone. Asta gets up. The ground underneath him cracks with power. Power has been building over and over time with Asta. Asta has just become stronger by just sitting there. Or you would expected him to be sitting there. He's kind of been messing with time a little bit. But yeah. What I mean when Asta's messing with time is because Asta has, well, all the powers of God. Because he's the vessel of it. Of course, if you're wondering why God is, well, having us as a vessel, well, that's his kind of, well, what's it called, plan of stuff. But yeah. Of course, this is where, well, Asta, if you want to know his abilities are, well, how you say that, omnipotent or whatever? He basically has the, well, so just think of all the facts that God's powers are like omnipotent or whatever the fuck you say it. Fuck, I forgot how you say it. But yeah. He's all-knowing, all-powerful, and all this other stuff. He knows a lot of things. But of course, let me go back into what I was saying about him kind of messing with time a little bit. But yeah. We go prior from 2 months after. Well, we mostly go into about a month ago, before the 2 months are over. Asta got bored, and of course, he didn't want to wait for 2 months entirely, so of course, he decides to go into time. He landed back onto, well, the earth and all that, but went back in time. We go back in time about, like, prior from 4 months later. Mostly, what's it called? Well, for mostly 5 months later. When Asta's execution was over and all that, there were still the Devil Worshippers. The Devil Worshippers still wanted the grimoire of Asta because that was their only key and hope and power to kind of having a double powers, or like double powers and all that. They still convince so many people, and so many people still try to leave the country. Of course, well, mostly the kind of like country of the Clover Kingdom and all that, and was about to go to the Spade Kingdom. Of course, they were stopped by, well, what's it called? Fogolian and, no, is it Fogolian? Am I saying? Yeah, fuck, is it? Yeah, Fogolian and also Nozel. They stopped them from actually leaving. Yami wasn't there because Yami didn't give a shit. But yeah. This is where, oh, I'll mention where Yami's at later, but yeah. This is where, well, they were stopped by them and of course told them to go back and try to help them or whatever bullshit like original canon. But Asta wasn't there to stop them from actually leaving and all that. Of course, this is where, well, that one kind of lady with what they call her kind of significant other and all that, the like doctor and all that, the other lady doctor, they both still tried to go to Spade Kingdom, but of course they were actually killed by, well, Nozel, because Nozel thought it was a betrayment of the Clover Kingdom. Even after the warning, Fogolian tried to stop it, but of course Nozel killed him. Of course, taking back the Grimoire of the Five Leaf. But we go into before all that happened. Asta appeared right in front of them, out of nowhere but a portal, a red lightning portal. This is where, well, he was in the sky right now over them like a god, a being of power. Asta was right now having one leg down and one leg up, like he was sitting in just thin air. Of course he was sitting on thin air. He can do whatever the fuck he wants to. This is where, well, every person who's seeing this are right now winding their eyes thinking that this is, well, either a, what's it called, the Clover Kingdom's like trying to stop them and all that from leaving and all that, or the powerful devil. This is where, well, this person named Asta lands down to the ground. This is where the person who has the Five-Leaf Grimoire, mostly the one who thought of all this plan, who was the devil worshipper and all that, says, "Stay back, I have the Five-Leaf Grimoire." Asta came closer towards her and says, "Do I look like I give a shit?" This is where Asta just kind of lifts up his hand, and this is where the Grimoire just flies towards him. Asta says, "I was the original owner of this Clover, well, mostly this Grimoire. So how the fuck are you supposed to use the weapons when you can't even use them exactly properly?" This is where Asta flips over the pages, and this is where, well, mostly opens the book, and this is where a sword flies up, going straight towards him, but of course he grabs it, and the sword glows with so much, this power of raging waves. This like very dangerous power glows around it. This is a demon destroyer, and of course Asta's holding it with just the most confidence that he can easily destroy anyone. This is where, well, Asta just puts the sword back into, well, the Grimoire. Of course, where, well, someone is right now sleeping in the Grimoire, and of course he was actually forced to sleep, and of course couldn't actually do anything. That was Leafy. Thanks to Asta actually knocking him out when he grabbed the Grimoire, when the Grimoire flies back to him. But yeah, this is what, well, all of them widened their eyes, and of course the kind of well, whatever her goddamn name was, this I forgot. It was the one that kind of used compost magic or whatever. Of course she says, I see. So you're the devil worshipper, kid. Well, not devil worshipper. You're the devil user, the one that was executed about months ago, about 1 month ago, or not 1 month ago, 1 week ago. It's where, well, Asta says, "Of course I am. And I see that you're trying to go to the Spade Kingdom. May I perhaps give you an alternative kind of idea? Alternative option. Instead of going to the Spade Kingdom or the Clover Kingdom, how about you go to none of them, and instead become my believers, my worshippers? I am a true God, a being of God. I am in all dimensions, all through dimensions 1 to 10. I am a god, a powerful being. Well, kind of. I am God's vessel. And I am 10, no, millions, no, infinity, stronger than even the devils. How about I help you all in getting power? But from me, since I am God's vessel, I can share people the power of God. Would you like that? Or will you still go and become a devil user? Even though your soul will be corrupted and destroyed by the devil. You wouldn't even get your revenge when you lose control. This is where, well, everyone that was hearing this, even though Asta was talking so quiet and low, still everyone was managing to hear this. He speaks so loud, but it was still quiet. It didn't break anyone's ears. And of course, everyone from the long ass line was actually hearing this. This is where, well, everyone's actually having ideas, and this is where, well, all of them sees Asta. Asta, the person that was executed, and now has become God's vessel. Even Asta knows that he is God's vessel. He knows this shit. He doesn't give a shit. But the only thing that Asta gives a shit is revenge. He doesn't give a shit if he has to be the vessel of God. But yeah, of course, well, everyone is hearing this, and everyone is now thinking, this sounds like a great idea. We should. Everyone's thinking all this because if Asta was revived being God's vessel, and he can share his power, then all of them would be okay. But this is where one person speak out loud. A girl with kind of this greenish, well, darkish greenish hair. And of course, she seems to be kind of tall. She seems to be like 5'8", being 16, the same age as Asta, and saying, how should we believe that you're telling the truth? All we know is probably you're lying. Asta walks up to her. Like, only walks a couple of steps until he appeared right in front of her. Asta looks into her eyes, her greenish, beautiful emerald eyes, both dark emeraldish eyes. Asta says, you're pretty cute. This is where her face becomes red. Well, not red, even just becomes like darkish green, and she's like, This is where, well, Asta says, I can help you. What's your magic? This is where, well, she says, telekinesis. Asta says, telekinesis. How much mana, magic, and power can you use? She says, I can only lift up small things like rocks and other things. Interesting. Tell me, what's your name? Asta said. She says, the name is, well, her name is Fubiki. But yeah, of course, she kind of had like this, well, her hair was kind of near her kind of like chin, but yeah, or kind of near her neck, but yeah. Of course, it worked well. Asta says, Fubiki, that's your name. What a beautiful name you have. But this is where, well, she was also kind of wearing this kind of greenish rags and all that. Of course, this is where Asta says, give me your hand, and I'll show you the power that I can give. This is where Fubiki kind of hesitates, but of course grabs Asta's hand. And of course, Asta didn't pull her or anything, just like pulls her kind of gently towards him. This is where he gives her power. This energy kind of courses through her. And of course, her grimoire, that was kind of a small grimoire, because yes, her power is telekinesis. And yes, if you're thinking this is Fubiki from One Punch Man, yes. And of course, this is where, well, is she gonna have her sister, what's it called, Tatsumaki? No. Yeah, no. Nah. Of course, this is where, well, she then kind of like, well, gets this power and overwhelming magic power and all that. Because yes, Asta is God. He is going to have magic underneath him. Even though he has the, what's it called, the power of anti-magic, he can control it no matter what. He can control magic and anti-magic no matter what. But yeah. So where Fubiki kind of now becomes, her hair becomes a lightish green, like a lightish green color kind of glows around her. Of course, well, her grimoire actually, instead of being this like small little booklet and all that, kind of became a little bit bigger into an actual regular sized grimoire. And instead of having a 1-leaf grimoire, well, because yes, I only have 1 leaf, it became actually 4 leaves. And this is where, well, her power, her energy, she just became stronger. And of course, the clothing that she was wearing actually became like a dress, a green darkish dress. It's where, well, a necklace actually appears because Asta kind of creates it for her. But this Asta kind of created in his hand. It was mostly just like jade color green necklace. He puts it around Fubuki, and Fubuki's face becomes, well, kind of embarrassed, blushing, and of course kind of falling in love for Asta. Asta grins at her, and this is where, well, everyone else is shocked to believe that Asta's truly God's vessel when he truly just changes Fubuki's power and energy. This was no illusion. She became stronger that she's able to now lift up mountains with her telekinesis. She was shocked. But this is where, well, Asta puts his, well, arms around her and says, "Are you happy?" That's where Fubuki says, "Yes." That's where Asta says, "Good. Then you will be the kind of angel of mine. Would you like to become my angel and protect the people who will be my worshippers?" That's where, well, Fubuki kind of blushes and says, "Yes." That's where Asta smiles and says, "Good." Of course, Asta goes up to the others and says, "Well then, I will share and lend my powers to all of you. You must all first, well, be able to go to the Clover King before." Asta explains his little plan. In about 6 months later, because Asta did went back in time for 4 months and all that, 6 months later and prior, a war with devils will happen, and you people will be my warriors, my revolutioners, my destroyers. We will charge into battle, but not to destroy the devils. I would do that myself, but to destroy the Clover Kingdom, the place that gave us so much of nothing, so little of nothing, so little of nothing that they deserve to die, to be so greedy. Royals, nobles, kings, Wizard King, all of them shall fall down and be destroyed by us. We, the commoners, no, we are blessed by God. So, follow me towards this plan, and you will be, well, presented with greatness in the near future. It's where everyone is shocked to believe they have to go back to the Clover Kingdom, but of course they feel a boost of energy, of power, and all that. But of course, all of them are hiding it pretty well. And this is where, well, Asta is now leaving, but before leaving, he then looks at the two people that were actually the devil worshippers and all that, the beginning people and all that. Even the people who were there, what's it called, that didn't actually get taken out and all that, like in the beginning and all that, from Asta because Asta wasn't there. They all kind of bow down to Asta. Asta, he gets towards them. And of course, that's where Asta shares a bit of his power. This like reddish light of like kind of reddish light glow of like this kind of like string appears from Asta's back. It was mostly this crimson red wing kind of right now glowing with feathers. And of course it does hit the 6 people that were in front of him, the devil worshippers, even the kind of, well, female that uses compost magic, and of course her kind of like wife friend, I don't know how to say, okay, I think they're dating or something, whatever, they love each other or something, something like that, I don't remember. Of course, they actually became stronger, and they were going to become the leaders, the 6 leaders, 6 commanders of this army that Asta has now got a believer system, a worshiper system, a bunch of people that believe that he is truly God and God's vessel. Of course, this is where, well, everyone understands, but this is where, well, the crosses that, what's it called, the 6 commanders got, like the original devil worshippers that wanted to go to the Spade Kingdom and all that, has now got these crosses, red crimson crosses. And of course that shows that they are, well, Asta's kind of, what's it called, worshippers. Well, mostly the commanders, 6 commanders in total. Well, They are the six commanders, while While Fubuki is his angel, and his angel is actually stronger than the six commanders. Of course, where the angel must protect everyone, but of course must always be beside his basically her god, and that is Asta. But of course, she is right now having the command to protect everyone. Of course, the six commanders understand and nodded in what they had. Of course, the word the compost magic user, instead of her grimoire being small, it was now big, and it had actually 5 leaves. 5 leaves in total, because Asta added the power of actually the devil that he kind of had of Belzel, giving it to her, and of course she will now be able to use the devil power. Of course, not needing to transform into the devil like a union form and all that, or of course even borrow or ask anything. She can use it 100%. She has the heart of that devil, and of course she's actually considered to be kind of the rank first of the commanders. Of course, she's actually sharing power with her kind of lover and all that, and that is the kind of like doctor and all that. And that doctor, she actually has the knowledge of everything. She instead didn't want magic power, but wanted knowledge of all poisons, all venom, all everything that was deadly to humans. She wanted to become the doctor of, the plague. She wanted to become the plague doctor, while her lover has become the fallen angel. So yeah. Of course, there are 2 commanders, while the other 4 commanders have become different types. What's it called? What's it called? Yeah, 2, what's it called? 6? Yeah, wait. 2, wait. So 2 towards 6 and all that, the kind of leftover 4 of them, has actually became, 4 different types of people through history, or mostly the people who will bring apocalypse, and that is the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. They have now the power of the 4 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So of course they have the different powers of those, and of course it will awaken when 6 months have passed, and when the war of humans versus devils will come. But of course, Asta, he promised all of them. But yeah, of course, Fubuki, who is actually right now looking at Asta, promised to protect the worshippers, and of course protect the commanders. So of course, this is where Fubuki's wings actually appear like angel wings, but they're greenish color thanks to her magic ability. Of course, this is where she goes up in the air, and of course Asta says, "Now, all of you that now have the power of God, remember my plan, and remember what will come next." That's where Asta explains what will come next. And that's where all of them just act casually and still kind of walking towards Spade Kingdom. But this is where, Nozel and Fugolian appear after Asta disappearing into a portal and disappearing forever. That's what all of them thinks. But yeah, they're mostly thinking that Asta has went back to God's palace. But really, Asta just went back to the moon and just sat there. So yeah, he went back to where he was originally came from. Mostly the timeline he was at. Of course, when Nozel and Fugolian appear, that's where Nozel and Fugolian kind of asked him to go. And of course, they were promised for all this, but they were all thinking it's all fake and false. And what the Clover, what's called Magic Knights, were all thinking. It's where, the composed magic user, and also mostly the first commander, second commander, they were actually now going along with the crowd. They were going with them. So of course they didn't get killed, because they were told of the horrific future. And of course when they were told about this horrific future, they glare at Nozel. But yeah, this where Nozel didn't notice it too much. Of course, there were no Silk and Fugula went back to the Clover Kingdom, but yeah, preparing to fight against the Devil Users in Spade. Of course, there were, well, we now go into Asta, fully waking up from his little nap of 2 months. Asta, he sees the blue earth, the nice blue earth that he was originally born from, but betrayed at the end. People hated him, and now he will show them what true power of a god can do. But of course, before Asta leaving, well, mostly his worshippers, he left them a black cube. This black purplish cube. Oh, mostly black purplish cube. Anyone that touches it was now able to communicate with God himself, meaning Asta. And of course, well, Asta will give them the power of whatever they needed. But yeah, it was mostly random what Asta would give them. But yeah, mostly any new members that kind of met the kind of 6 commanders, whichever 6 commander, they would be brought along to the black cube to meet God. And of course, if Asta can see the pure hatred, the rage against nobles, he will give them a power. But if it was like a noble trying to get power and all that and be greedy and all that, he knows what noble, royal, and what's it called, like king blood is. And of course, when nobility tries to do something like this, Asta strike them down without a hesitation thought. Lightning smashes down to the ground, destroying him and getting rid of his magic. Of course, the word Asta gives it to another person that would love to get rid of nobles and royals from this world. Of course, the word, well, we go into Asta. Asta, he looks at the planet and just waits a couple more hours. This is where, well, we go into the kind of fight between the kind of devil users. Of course, this is where Bezel and Xanon are no longer, well, able to fight. But of course, well, since they are no longer able to fight, someone from the Dark Disciples had to take on a devil who was actually he was actually fit to rank. Because, well, yeah, fit to rank under the 3 supreme devils. But yeah, this is where, well, that is happening. His magic is right now destroying what's called the Golden Dawn, and even This is what, well, all of them are being just destroyed out of, well, mostly beating the shit out of. Of course, Dante was fighting against Yami, and Yami was actually taking this fight not that serious. He didn't really want to care about the Clover Kingdom. He lost one of his members. And when Dante noticed this, he just decided to take, well, Yami. He didn't care. This is where, well, all this was happening. And of course, it went, well, the 24 hours later did happen also. Of course, it worked well. What's it called? What was his name again? So his name was Noct, and Noct was extremely pissed for what's it called, the capital of the Clover Kingdom is stupidity. For the one fact that, well, they executed the person who was supposed to help out the war against the devils. Even the Heart Kingdom was extremely pissed when they met with the Clover Kingdom. But yeah, thinking that, you know, the Prince and Noel, who was in the Valkyrie form, could help against the devils, but they get easily destroyed. Of course, Noct was just kind of making fun of, well, all of the kind of royalties and even the captains, the squad captains, about their stupidity and how they lost to some devils. And they were only the Dark Disciples. And yet they lost. This is where, well, Yuno said that he fought against one of the Dark Tribal members. And Noct says that that was actually one of the newest members. He actually has the 5th ranked devil. This is where, well, all of them were shocked, because they thought that it was one of the kind of supreme devils or whatever. not to explain about a while ago that, well, Zenin, one of the true Dark Tribal members, was executed, destroyed, killed a long time ago. He doesn't know when he was killed. He doesn't know who killed him. But all that he knows is that, well, Belzem, who was the third ranked Supreme Devil that was in, well, the kind of underworld, is no longer alive. That means whoever killed Belzem and whoever, well, managed to kill also Zenin, the true Dark Tribe member, well, one of the siblings of those, whoever killed him is someone dangerous. And Asta is right now hearing this like music to his ears, laughing in his mind, saying that these idiots do not understand true power. So yeah, Asta's just laughing. This is what, well, we go into, well, Magna knowing about Dante, and of course, well, he's confused if, well, Asta would appear, but Asta didn't appear. But of course, he's scared to even say his name because he's expecting Asta to kill him anytime. But of course, well, all the other Black Bull members were kind of hurt, extremely hurt after fighting Dante, but they were still kind of depressed. They didn't train as much as they would like in original canon, because their motivation was destroyed after Asta was killed. But yeah, Magna on the other hand was training like hell, but yeah, he still met, what's it called, fucking Zora and all that. And of course, well, mostly still met Zora, but of course didn't plan out the kind of magic still, like the eco-balance magic that, well, Magna would have thought in original canon. But of course, all of them were easily defeated. Even Luck and the others were actually not even in the what's called Heart Kingdom. They were for a little bit, but just came back to the Black Boss. The only one that was there was actually, well, Noel, what's it called, Leopold, and also, well, Mimosa. Of course, Mimosa always glared at, well, Noel. Of course, even glared at, well, Leopold. Of course, well, she actually didn't like being in the kind of Golden Dawn. And so she actually decides to kind of join a lower rank squad, and that being the Black Boss. Yes, Mimosa did not like how everyone treated Asta, and even after Asta's death. And so, well, she left the Golden Dawn to go into the Black Boss. Of course, where Noel left the Black Boss to go into a Golden Dawn, so basically they switch. Of course, Noel kind of says, well, when they kind of switch, we go into a flashback of them. It's where Noel says, "You really are sad over that loser, that double user? Huh. You will never get anywhere in life, Mimosa." Mimosa glares at her and says, "He was a good man, a good person to you. And you killed him. You let him die. I hope you burn in hell." Yeah, Mimosa did cuss at her, but yeah. Of course, well, they walked away, but yeah. Of course, Mimosa was kind of hurt. And of course, she did have what's called one of, well, mostly, she tried to help the others, but of course, she kind of did have a hole into her chest. Of course, she was losing blood, but of course, well, what was it called? Gray did try to help Mimosa and the others, but yeah. Of course, this is where all of them knows that they're gonna die sooner or later. Either from nature or just because they're out here. That's where, what's it called? Henry is right now just near a building and all that, just crumble and all that. Of course, he is tired. Because after fighting Dante, Yami still sacrificed himself to kind of defeat him enough so he will actually leave, but yeah. And not go after Gray, Vanessa, or even Mimosa. But this is where, well, a portal appears right in front of the Black Boss, and that is one of the Dark Tribal members. We'll see the 5th rank dude actually appears. After kind of putting what's it called, William's body into the Spade Kingdom, he actually appears. Now he's able to use kind of spatial magic, but isn't that strong. But of course, well, he says, "I'm here for the arcane stage princess," as I say, for Dante's wife. Don't you think? This is where, well, he's walking forward them, but this is where before it even before it just kind of, well, dark, because I'm gonna just say he's a Dark Tribal member who actually just ranked up to be in Dark Tribe. But this is where, before he even got closer, someone appeared right in front of him, and this person is none other than Asta. Yes, Asta appeared right in front of what's called the Black Bulls, just for the fuck of it, because what are they gonna do? Try to change his mind from not destroying what's called the Royals? Fuck that. This is where, well, Asta, he appears right in front of the devil user, and this is where, well, Asta says, "Hey, devil, I think you should go back, or do you want to die?" Asta cracked his neck. This is where, well, the devil user says, "Huh? And who the hell are you?" "Me? Well, I don't know. Maybe you can call me, what kind of devil should I be?" "Oh, right, I'm not a devil. I'm God himself." This is where, well, the devil laughs and says, "God? There's no such thing as..." This is where before he even says a single word out of his mouth, he gets fucking kicked in the stomach. Mostly a kick will smash into his stomach, launch into multiple trees. Boom, boom. This is where the devil was unable to phase, or not phase, being able to react fast enough again to Asta's kick. This is where Asta says, "Swear to God, you're more pathetic than I thought." You truly are so pathetic, you know that? This is where, well, devil tries to get back up and say, "What the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you?" Asta says, "Who am I? Who am I? Huh? I don't know. Well, don't know. But I don't care." Asta turns around and just walks towards Mimosa, because Mimosa was actually losing conscious. Seeing Asta, this is where the others, they were actually trying to get on guard, but of course they're too weak to even stand against Asta. This is where Magna says, "You're..." This is where he couldn't really say his name, because, well, Asta kind of just used a little bit of pressure just to knock him out, just because for the fuck about it. He didn't give a shit. This is where Asta goes up to Mimosa. And this is where Asta, this reddish glow, almost he has like crimson red feathers, wings actually glow and all that. This is where, well, this kind of like healing magic actually appears. Kinda. It's not healing magic entirely. Instead, it's kind of just healing Mimosa. This omnipotent kind of healing power. He heals actually all of the Black Bulls, not just Mimosa, but puts it over a dome around them. But yeah, that's where Asta, he kind of just lets the dome stays there, and of course, where, well, the devil rushes at him again, and of course, Asta dodges to the left, dodges to the right. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, Asta's basically just doing the, what's it called? What was that song called? Whatever, I forgot what it's called. But you know, it's like cross to the right, cross to the left, crisscross or whatever. Yeah, you get that. I think it was called Maraca. I don't remember. But of course, well, Asta's just kind of like dancing on this like loser devil. He doesn't give a shit. He's too much all-knowing. So of course he knows who this devil's magic is. He knows who this is. He knows his name. He knows everything. He basically knows this guy to the fucking smallest atom. Asta's eyes are so powerful. They're so potent. And this is where, well, Asta appears behind this person. This is where the devil tried to punch him at him. Of course, right now being in double union power right now at 75%, and tried to punch at Asta. But of course, well, the punch didn't even reach Asta. It was right now like 1 feet away from Asta, because he is slowly getting to Asta. Yes, Asta activates something called Limitless. Asta is right now using Limitless. Yes, Asta can do whatever the fuck he wants to, because this is, well, God's vessel. And so where Asta looks at him and kind of just pulls out a cup of tea out of the fuck nowhere and start drinking that shit like it's nothing. He even like pulls out a chair out of nowhere, waiting for the devil to just realize that his punch is never getting towards him. Asta's drinking his tea and saying, "You dumb mate, because you a stupid one, aren't you?" Yeah, Asta just became British at the same time. Whatever. Of course, well, the devil jumps back, and of course, they're sending these black balls from him. Well, mostly the black energy balls, and of course, just launches them towards Asta. Asta's still sitting there, not giving a shit. And when they get closer, they actually annihilate it. They actually disappear. Asta keeps drinking tea and says, "Man, you a dumb motherfucker. You a stupid motherfucker. I didn't know about that. But thank you for telling me that you are truly a stupid motherfucker." This is where the devil widens his eyes. Well, mostly devil worshiper. And of course says, "How? Who are you? What are you?" "Who am I? What am I? Don't know." This is where Mimosa. Of course, everyone else in the kind of like black boats all lost consciousness after being healed and all that. Because it felt so warm and all that. But this is where Mimosa got up. And of course, she got out of the dome, of course, feeling all good. Like she was the first one to be healed. And she sees this person right now messing with the devil. But of course, it worked. Well, Asta stops drinking his tea and just throws it down the ground, smashing the tea. And this is where, well, Asta says, whatever. Asta says, whatever. With your ugly ass face. It ruined my tea time. This is where, well, Asta, right now, something appeared right in front of him, like a reddish portal. This is where he grabs the grimoire, mostly the 5-leaf grimoire. And where was this kept? Well, mostly it was kept with his devil worshippers. This is where, well, the devil worshippers lied towards the Ka, mostly Nozel and the others, about they threw it into, well, the kind of like just ice hill and mountainside and all that. Which they did. They actually shown to throw it, but that was a fake grimoire. Of course, where Nozel and Fogolan saw this and realized that the devil worshippers probably just take the new turn and all that. Of course, this is where they were holding on to its book, and for their Lord, their Majesty, their Lord and Savior, and that is Asta, to be able to bring the book from its place in holdment, because Asta would take it one day and would lift up, and of course be able to go to Asta. Which, yes, it did happen, and of course the 6 commanders were actually seeing this, and seeing that Asta grabbed its grimoire. This is where, we must have noticed one thing. That grimoire had 5 leaves, and they were black. And of course the grimoire had this reddish glow, sinister glow. This is where one of the swords appeared, and that being the demon dweller. Also says, interesting. Well, do you know what this is exactly? The devil says, don't know. Wait, I think I know about this. 5-leaf grimoire. Anti-magic you have. But the only one that can actually use that was the boy that was executed. Yeah, 6 months ago. God, can you shut up? It's old ass news. But yes, I can hold it pretty well. This is where Asta right now glows what's called black energy into it. And of course, this is where Asta says black hole slashes. This is where Asta starts swinging through the air. And of course, these giant slashes rips through the air right now trying to slash at this person. This person tries to use his portal magic, but of course, it gets just absorbed when this black hole slash actually gets close. It absorbs the magic, the light itself, ripping through the air. This is where, I'm still laughing, saying, you're truly a retarded. This is where Asta appears behind this devil before he can actually react fast enough from Asta punching him to the fucking ground. This is where, the person smashes down to the ground at high speeds. Mimosa, her face, she smiles for the first time after so long. She smiles with this gentle smile. Of course, she's smiling and crying at the same time, because now she knows that Asta isn't dead. She always thought in her head that Asta would never die. He is a strong person. He doesn't die that easily. But after seeing Asta being alive, being healthy, and truly being more good looking in her eyes, this is where her face does become a little greenish more. But yeah, this is where before she's even able to dodge a punch from the devil, because the devil noticed her, this is where he says, before I die, I'm gonna kill you. This is where before Mimosa even had time to react, Asta appeared saying, sorry, can't let you kill one of my other wives, should I say. This is where, well, once I heard that, and of course her face becomes so unbearable red and all that, she's blushing, and of course, well, Asta, he doesn't have the demon dweller, instead of the demon destroyer. He swings it once right in front of him, and the devil just gets cut in half. It doesn't just affect the human, but also the devil, the Supreme Five Devil. Ow. The devil says, dying. Lucifer right now, well, not Lucifer, Lucifer kind of notices and says, what the, what the, damn it, who keeps killing them? How is this even possible? No, 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 no. He's right now screaming and smashes into, well, the wall next to him. Listen, wait, well, the kind of devil of time is saying, what are you screaming about, Lucifer? Or not Lucifer, Lucifer. Do you not understand, idiot? Devils are dying left and right. Do you not know why? Yeah. Probably they got defeated. No, you idiot. Someone keeps killing them, and I can't figure out who it is because I'm not out there. He was able to push me away from Belzel. I don't know who he is, but he's dangerous. Yeah, just relax or something. Well, we're almost out of this place. Look at that. Was it called Yami and was it called the other? Williams are about to destroy the underground gate and all that. We will be free one day. Lucifer says, I guess you're right. Until then, I will kill this person who's trying to destroy me. Well, Lucifer doesn't know this, but in the near future, he's going to die. The guy who is right now with the time power, mostly the time devil, saw this already in the future, about like so many years ago. Already knew about the plan and other things from Lucas. And of course, well, he then looks into the future again, just to see if that plan will still go. And sees that's perfectly still going. But the only reason that's still going, and he still sees the same thing as Lucas becoming this almighty God, is thanks to the true manipulator, Asta. Asta is right now changing the path of time, so it kind of still looks like this person will still be able to achieve his goal. When that happens, Asta will appear and smite him down like the pathetic weakling he is. Of course, we go into Asta, turning around, looking at Mimosa, and just smiling at her with this kind of smile, but of course with these sharp teeth. Guess what? Well, Mimosa blushes with this kind of like reddish blush and says, this is where before she even says anything, Asta grabs her from the face and just pulls her in close and just kind of kiss her. That's where Mimosa's right now all reddish, and of course she kind of like jumps back. Of course she was about to fall, and of course Asta just grabs her from her hand, saying, Asta kind of just licks her lips and saying, delicious, don't you think? That's where Mimosa says, her face is all red, and of course it's all on fire, but yeah. This is where, well, she doesn't know what to do. Of course she passes out fully, but yeah. This is where Asta smiles, and this is where, well, he actually decides to leave with what's it called, Mimosa. This is where, well, Asta says, time to leave. This is where, well, looks at the others. Of course, they will be killed after a while, but this is where Asta needs to leave. Asta disappears and meets up with the other devil worshippers. This is where, well, Fubuki does appear, of course, with her angel wings, right now being angelic and all that, and seeing Asta, her kind of lord and all that, and says, my lord, you're here. And who is she? Asta says, well, she's going to be your sister and being another angel, don't you think? This is where, well, Fubuki kind of gets jealous, and this is where Asta says, don't be jealous. I will still be able to have time to see you too. This is where, oh, she blushes and says, yes, sir. This is where, well, they go on, and this is where Asta right now transform, what's it called, will give the power towards Mimosa until she wakes up. The next day happens, and of course, the worm Mimosa wakes up. That's what, well, she is right now waking up in the middle of the night. Her eyes are no longer what's it called, well, it's still this lightish green, but even lighter green. Of course, she has this flower crown on top of her head, and of course, these wings, right now, kind of being like these kind of like greenish wings. She's like, what just happened? Asta says, you took a very long nap, don't you think, Mimosa? Mimosa says, Asta? Uh, uh, that's what, well, she kind of jumps up and hugs him and says, Asta! So what, well, she says, I thought that was a dream. Or maybe that was a dream. What? I'm so happy that you're not dead. So what, well, she's all excited and all that until she remembers what really happened yesterday, and this is where her face becomes red. And this is where Asta says, oh, you're finally starting to remember what happened. You know, we can do that again. This one wants to say, no, I'm fine. This one, well, Asta smiles and says, good. Well, I wanted to tell you about the powers that you got now for being one of my angels. This one, well, Mom also says, one of your what? Angels. Don't you want to be an angel? I mean, you already are. This one, well, Mom also face becomes even more red and says, stop with all these compliments. This one, well, she can't really handle Asta's compliments mostly, but yeah. Because Asta looks way too good. He has this kind of lightish, whitish skin a little bit. Of course, well, he also has these reddish eyes. He's also 6'1" feet. And of course, well, he's taller than normal. But yeah, Mimosa has actually grown up also, even though she's 16. And she's actually 5'6". Well, 5'6.5", but yeah. Of course, well, she is embarrassed to hear Asta, but of course, well, she now understands about her abilities that she became a angel. Legit an angel. And so what, well, she also met Fubuki, and of course, where they start talking, but yeah. Of course, Asta waits until the whole kind of like double war before humans, disappear and all that. Of course, well, Noel and even managed to defeat the devil Mophilia or whatever, mostly, yeah, and even Vonica. Of course, they even defeated Dante because, well, yeah, they still managed to. Of course, well, the devil Lucifer actually appears and tries to fight against all these people. But of course, actually got destroyed out of nowhere, like a red laser actually smashes into him. Of course, well, it didn't destroy his heart. Actually missed it entirely, but he was actually unable to use any power. Until, well, the devil of time actually grabbed his heart and take it and bring it towards Lucas. So we go into a time skip of, well, Lucas being revived after taking over, well, Judas' body and showing off that he became a god now. He says he'll become the god of this world. Of course, was there with Sister Lily, and of course, instead of Asta seeing Sister Lily be transformed into this angel of devil or whatever power and all that has Bazel's kind of like power. She doesn't actually have Bazel's power. Instead, she actually has, well, the power of, well, the kind of, you know what? Yeah, she has the power of Badilda or whatever. The kind of curse devil, but yeah. Of course, Lucas says, I have finally became God of this world. Now all of you, well, I will give you 7 days until you become strong enough to fight me, until you become, well, purify. That's where Lucas was actually about to leave. But of course, before leaving, well, he was actually started to leave and all that. Just kind of leaving with what's called Sister Lily until, well, Unitry and Noel tried to attack him. But of course, they were blasted away from Lucas. Lucas says, you people are weak. Well, let's go, Sister Lily. That's where she's leaving. Of course, Kira's also following. Of course, well, he's like leaving and disappearing into a portal, but before even appearing from that portal will smash into pieces. He's right now confused until a being of a red portal appears. It's where, well, Asta says, sup, fucker. Is it that time? Oh wait, you said 7 days until rapture time. That's interesting. And you say you were God. Bitch, you ain't no God. You're mostly like a bitch to me. This is where Lucas says, who are you? This is where he tries to use his future ability on Asta, and no, he can't see even the future of Asta. It's not because he is dead, it's because Asta can manipulate time. And instead of seeing the future of Asta being dead or something, he sees his head being split off his body in an instant if Asta just slaps the air. This is where Asta says, oh, are you trying to look into my life? Are you trying to look into my future? Very interesting that you tried to look into that when I'm manipulating time to show you your death instead of showing my death. Don't you think, Lucas? I forgot Lucas' last name. Mostly he's from the. This is where I also say Lucius or Lucas. I'm just calling it Lucas. Lucas Zobratis. This is where Lucas widened his eyes and says, "How? Who are you? And what are you?" Also says, "Oh. Well, you see here, you might think that you're God, but truly you're just a bitch. I am God. I am the true God of this world. You're nothing but a weakling, a cheap copy version of me. The only thing that I will say to you is you're not God technically. You're just got the power of the devil named Lucifer. So I'm gonna just say that you're Lucifer's reincarnation. You're truly not a what's called God. You might be able to soul manipulate, magic or whatever, but that shit won't really work on a being like me. Don't you think?" That's where, Lucas says, "Who are you exactly?" "Oh, let me tell you my name." Asta goes, "Well, the name is Asta." That's where Lucas winds his eyes and says, "Wait, no, you're supposed to be dead. How are you alive?" "Oh, you see here, I'm not God, technically. I'm God's vessel. And if the true God comes out here, he's going to fuck you up." This is where Lucas kind of right now uses what's called Sister Lily to actually attack Asta until Asta just flicks her once, and of course her kind of like, well, binding with the devil was actually destroyed in an instant. Asta says, "What are you trying to do there, Lucas? It seems that your power isn't working against me. But don't worry. You know those 7 days that you gave humans and the royals and all them other things? I'll give the same to you." Asta slaps him like a couple of times until Asta fucking smacks the shit of him right now, launches him into multiple trees. Asta says, "And don't you dare touch Sister Lily." This is where Sister Lily falls down, and of course she right now passes out, but this is where Asta grabs her. And this is where Asta looks at, well, you know, and this is where Asta grins. And right now licks his teeth saying, "Oh, you know, you look great to fucking murder in 7 days. So be prepared, loser." This is where Asta makes a port on, of course, he goes to it, but yeah. Of course, to work, well, you know why in his eyes, he didn't expect Asta to just smack the shit of Lucas without a care in the world and be able to stop the binding of the devil of with Sister Lily. Yeah, Asta destroys almost all the things that Lucas' hopes and dreams were just shattered into a million pieces thanks to Asta. Asta saw the despair look on his face, the delicious look that he had. But yeah, Sir Asta, he then just kind of disappeared. But yeah, of course, where all the kind of royal, well, mostly the squad captains widened their eyes when they saw Asta and how he said his name. Of course, there were they shocked. It's basically more shocked after hearing that Asta is the vessel of God. This is where, Lucas smashes into the trees, and of course, he then stands in the clearing, well, mostly, he blacks out, but of course for a little bit, until he remembers from him blacking out is standing in the clearing, and right now, he was in his form and all that, and this kind of goldenish form and all that, God form, false God mostly, but looks up and sees true God standing on top of him, being a colossal being that the only thing he saw was the head of God. Because this being was not standing on earth, but standing on thin air, and right now having his hands over earth and looking at Lucas with no eyes. But Lucas felt like these kind of goosebumps into his back, this kind of fear into his back, thinking that God is seeing him with all eyes on him, about to destroy earth, which it does, and exploded him, destroying Lucas with him, with earth, killing Lucas off. This is what, well, Lucas wake up, and that's why he remembers, and of course he's carried by Kira, and of course they're flying away, but yeah. Of course, to where Lucas is winding his eyes. What the fuck did he just see? What he saw was somewhat the future. He thinks that he saw the future. He doesn't know what exactly he saw. He thinks that he saw the future. He thinks he didn't see the future. He doesn't actually know. But other than that, I'm going to leave it off here for part 2 of this What If. Yes, part 3 will be the end of What If Asta was the vessel of God. But other than that, have a nice potato day, potato night, potato seed, potato, potato, and good night. Bye. And remember, guys, potato is a potato. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but whatever. Yeah, so potato, potato, good night, bye.